The aircraft undertook its regular route like any other flight of that day. People found comfortable positions while flight crew members finalized safety procedures before Boeing 747 started its acceleration from the tarmac. The aircraft development turned into one of the scariest events ever recorded in aviation history. The jet of United Airlines Flight 811 started its ascent into cruising altitude before a catastrophic event occurred. A thunderous blast tore through the aircraft cabin, after which a tremendous breach formed in the fuselage. The aircraft's side suffered a major structure loss when the cargo door broke free. Anyone seated in the rows that suffered damage became part of the night sky through the hole formed in the fuselage. Oxygen masks dropped. Chaos erupted. Fighters in the cockpit battled to maintain the integrity of the 747 aircraft after the explosion happened. Such a vital aircraft experiencing an in-flight loss of body parts would normally signal a devastating conclusion. A normal aircraft did not lie within the onboard crew because the pilots displayed exceptionally extraordinary distinct capabilities. The damaged aircraft pilots performed a decision which ensured survival for all other passengers on board. The most unbelievable detail was that this incident did not occur by chance. Flight 811 took off while warning indicators had been visible since its departure process began. So what really happened? The plane fragment took an independent decision to depart. The horrifying design problem that should have endangered additional flights emerged through investigators' research. The following section will reveal even more astonishing information. The passengers of United Airlines Flight 811 encountered a panic attack at an altitude of 22,000 feet, which no one planned to experience during their flight. One moment, everything was normal. The next, the plane vibrated powerfully from the loud boom, while a big section of fuselage simply vanished from existence. 8 passengers next to the open hole escaped into the darkness because the vacuum effect sucked them through the opening immediately. Just like that. No warning. No chance. The rest of the passengers? Absolute self terror. Through the hole, the wind blasted similarly to a fierce hurricane, while various objects flew past and oxygen masks dangled as if they added to the general panic. But the scariest part? The aircraft experienced serious deterioration beyond its missing door. The vital system controllers had been cut, leading to numerous cockpit warning alarms turning on, while a burning engine created the most alarming situation. Somehow, against all odds, this incident managed to spare the flight from a disastrous ending. Captain David Cronin, alongside his crew members, had only a brief amount of time to respond. They had to land the plane safely before it dissembled entirely relative to its original form. Wind speeds were so intense that any verbal exchange between cockpit and cabin became extremely difficult. Flight attendants attempted to control panic as people hung on to whatever objects they could reach because everyone knew survival was at stake. A nearly implausible performance allowed the crew to succeed despite all operational failures. But how? People need to understand the real reason behind the cargo door malfunction that occurred during the incident. The catastrophe presented a perfect chance for preventative measures to be taken, yet no safeguards were employed. The true explosion occurred after the plane finished its landing. After the cargo door of a jumbo jet broke loose during flight, you would expect immediate action from the aviation industry to solve the problem. But nope. Flight 811 proved to be the deadliest incident from this particular safety problem, even though it happened after previous similar malfunctions with different outcomes. The container explosion that led to this catastrophe should have never occurred, since the aviation industry had the means to prevent it. The investigators discovered that a fatal structural problem existed in the cargo door locking system. The locking mechanism presented indications that the door was secured, although actually the restriction was not operational in specified operational settings. Meaning, a minor force application during flight would lead to an instant damaged sunroof. Flight 811 faced an even more dangerous situation, since Boeing received warnings about this problem multiple years before the incident, even though another flight experienced a door failure but safely managed to land successfully. The fix? A simple latch redesign. The cost? This solution would cost negligible money for commercial airlines. Why did Boeing not prevent this problem from occurring earlier? Public agencies combined with overall indifferent institutional behavior. Flight 801 prompted the airline industry to pay attention to safety. The airline crisis forced Boeing to redesign their doors, and airlines needed to perform modifications on their planes, and safety protocols increased in rigor. The serious airplane emergency ultimately resulted in heightened flight safety standards. Safety checks at airports take long, but at least you will not find yourself seated accidentally in the exit row at 22,000 feet. Flight 811 taught valuable lessons that would save numerous lives, yet had to endure extremely close to causing additional loss. Your achievement of reaching this point means you exceed the average knowledge about aircraft safety for your upcoming flight. Safe travels.